Hey guys, it's Emma here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is a makeup transformation on my girl, Sarah. So I started off with a concealer on her eyes just to prep her eyes for eyeshadow. If you want to see how I achieved her brows, I'll put a link in the description bar below. And then I went into my Bennye powder palette and used one of the powder in there to just set her eyes, to set the concealer on her eyes. Then I went into my violetvoss Holy Grail palette. You know this is my favorite palette. And I used the orange shade in there to, as a transition shade. And I used the clean brush to blend the eyeshadow well so that there are no harsh lines. And then from the same palette, I think it's brownie, I can't remember, brownie or teddy bear, it's a brown kind of color, and I took that and applied it in her crease as well. Then I went in with a shade, I think it's Teddy Bear now. I used again just to contour her eyes a little bit. I apply that shade and then I blended everything together so there are no harsh lines. Everything about makeup is blending. Then I went into my thebalm nude tude palette and I can't remember the shade, I'll put it in the description bar as well. I used that shade on her eyes because I was going for a very simple look, not too much, but I wasn't getting what I wanted, so I went into my Limecrime 2 palette and I used that shade on her eyes just to give her eyes a little bit of more color. I sprayed the brush with my setting spray just to add a little bit pigmentation. I know I said I wasn't going for something really dramatic, but anyway, yeah. Then I went into my thebalm palette that I used earlier on and I took the dark brown shade in there. I think it's called Sleek, and I apply that in the outer corners of her eyes just to, give the eyes a little bit more depth. Then I blended everything all together. Then I used official wipes just to clean up all the fallouts on her face. By the way, before I started this, I had already prepped her face and all that primer and all that good stuff. So now onto the glitter. This is my first time doing a glitter liner, so I used the Elf glitter primer and I traced that line. I traced it I followed the previous wing I'd already used. I'd already drawn on her eyes, so I just put the glitter primer and then I went in with the glitter. It's a silvery glitter, I got it from eBay, just a random glitter, and I followed that that line where I'd already applied the glitter glue. I used an angle brush. Then I went into my Inglot gel liner and decided to just clean up that line a little bit so it's not looking messy. I'd already color corrected her face using the Makeupforever camouflage palette, and I already applied her lashes. These lashes are for Primark. They're really nice lashes. So for her foundation, I used Lancome Tint Idole in the shade 10 in the outer corners of her face, and I went in with the Maybelline Fit Me foundation in 340 in the at the center of her face, because she's got a little bit of like an orange yellow undertone. So just to get that nice foundation shade, I just mixed them together. Then for concealer, I went in with the LA Girl Pro Concealer in Fawn, and I placed that under her eyes, her nose, cupid's bow, chin, and forehead. Then I went in with my Real Technique sponge and just used that to blend out the concealer. Then from the same I used the same foundation brush I used to apply her foundation, just to blend out all the hash lines and all that stuff. And then I used the dark shade in my Makeupforever camouflage palette to contour her face, to lift up that cheekbone. I applied that there, and then on her forehead as well, and under her chin. So I used the foundation brush just to blend the contour, blend everything into her skin, so it's nice. And also I used the same contour shade to contour her nose a little bit, but I didn't take too much product. And then I blended under her eyes again to remove any creasing before going in with my powder. I believe I used the Bennye banana powder under her eyes. I plan not to bake. I just pressed the powder under her eyes. I basically set where I'd already applied the concealer: under her eyes, her nose, cupid's bow, forehead, and chin, and around her mouth as well, because she's got a little bit of smile line, I think. I took my Bennye powder palette and applied one of these powders on her face, just to set her face. Then I took one of the powders in there. It has like a yellow tint to it, and I put it under her eyes just to give her under eye a yellow tint, because she's got like a bit of yellow undertone. So then I used my powder brush to blend everything together. From the same Bennye powder palette, I used that shade to contour her face a little bit, basically setting the cream contour, her cheekbone, her forehead, and all that good stuff. And then I went into my Covergirl Ebony Bronzer. Initially I was like, oh, this looks like a blush than a bronzer on her face. So I applied that, and then I went into I contoured her face as well, and then I used my powder brush just to like blend it. So from the same Bennye powder palette, I took a shade that is close to her skin tone, and just to do like a reverse contour. But I didn't allow the powder to sit there too long, so I went over it with the powder brush to blend everything together. I'd already applied the Inglot gel liner on her waterline, and then I went into my Lime Crime Venus, I think it's Venus 1 palette, and used that shade to smoke out her lower lash line. I wanted a little bit of more color, so I went in with like a dark brown eyeshadow. I smoked out the lower lash line again. I used my e.l.f. waterproof mascara and applied that on her lashes to blend it with a false one. And I also applied it at the bottom. That's her bottom lashes. So I took that blush and applied it on her cheek. And then I went in with the powder brush just to blend it in. My favorite facial spray, the Mario Badescu, I used that to spray her face so everything can come together. Before the spray dried completely, I went into my Bellapierreofficial highlighting palette. It's called Glowing palette. I know, this is my favorite. I'm sorry, can't help it. So I applied that shade on the high points of her face, Cupid bow, nose, the bridge of her nose, and chin, and her brow bone as well. I used the same highlighter shade on her tear dot area. So I went in with LA Color, I think it's LA Color lip liner. I can't remember the shade, but it's one of those kind of berry looking lip liner colors. And I used that to outline her lips. So I went in with one of those NYX soft matte lip cream. I can't remember the exact name. I'll put it in the description box below. The NYX lipstick was a bit patchy, so I went into the LA Splash lipstick. I think is in the shade Vampire. I'll put it in the description box below. Basically, that's the makeup done. If you're okay with the lipstick like this, it's fine. But if you just want to add a little bit more something, you can go in with a glitter like I did. How I applied the glitter, but I applied like a random glitter, brownish looking with a little bit of silver in it. I applied it on the lips just to give that look, like a bold, you know, thing going on, if you know what I mean. Just to spice it up a little bit. So yeah, that's the end. Please share, subscribe, comment, you know, all that good stuff. And yeah, and I'll see you in my next video. Oh wait, I've got bloopers as well, so because we had so much fun filming this. So yeah, love you guys. Bye.
Sorry. Sorry. Oh my god. I thought your eyes were closed. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Why do you always make that silly mistake? This is how we play.
Yeah, push for the camera.
That's for the camera.
You know
Push for the camera. Push for the camera.
We did not come to play. Take us serious. Thank you so much. A star. I didn't even do it.